All right.
All right.
I came out to see him in person. He's real.
We are in person. Can you believe this? Look at this guy.
He's not AI.
This guy exists.
I'm real. We're real. We're in New York.
We're in New York City right now.
New York City. What part of New York are we in?
We are in NoHo. We are near the heart of New York, Manhattan. We're near Union Square.
Okay.
We're out here chilling. We're about to eat after this. We're out here vibing in the city.
So we're here for the screening of a documentary that Common Power is in. It's down the street, 7 minutes away. We're using that as an anchor to talk to our volunteers that are here. We have a ton of volunteers here in New York City. That's a part of the group that knocked on doors for Swazi, that you were a part of. Shout out to Jeff, one of the educators is here. Jeff and Jamie and Carmen and a bunch of other folks. We got folks in Connecticut that drive down for this as well. And a bunch of these people went over to Pennsylvania last year and joined us out, knocking on doors in a team that you helped to lead, sir.
Yeah, I was team lead here. We were knocking doors for Swazi when he was running for Congress, and it was in the winter, and it was one of the first big indications of what was going on the ground, what we could see in 2024. But immigration was like one of the biggest issues.
Was that January?
I think it was February.
It was
last year. It was last
cold.
year. It was cold. It was last year.
It was snowing.
It was snowing. Yeah, literally snowed one of the times. We couldn't go to the party, the celebration, the election party, because it snowed. But yeah, we got a good community here in New York. It's building up. Yeah. And yeah, they got the he's being humble. He's the star of the documentary. I don't know if you guys have seen it, American Dignity. It's great.
They'll see it soon. It'll
see
be
it soon.
Live soon. It can't be live yet because it's got to hit the shows, all the competitions. But we're here because this is a place where, as a blue state, the Common Power recipe is that we take volunteers. Ahmed's one of our volunteers. Take volunteers from blue states and we bring them over to purple states and battleground states, red states, purple districts. You also went out to Pennsylvania. Yeah,
I was a team lead during the 2024 election.
That's right.
Didn't go the way we wanted, but we went hard. We went hard over
County.
there. Bucks County. We were there talking to voters. We learned so much. A team of, shout out to, Vanessa and Chuck and Elizabeth and the other killers out there that were just going hard. I mean, so many doors were knocked, but yeah, we were out there talking to people in Trump country. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you know me as a journalist, but on the side, I'm out here trying to, not on the side, but it's like a main thing, to be honest. I'm out here trying to do the work. You guys
That's right, man. That's right. It's not just talking about it, you're doing it. By the way, there's a dog that just walked past in the middle. We were at a WeWork, and this is one of the things that exists in the WeWork is people working and dogs walking around. Yep. But a bunch of these folks are going to come see the documentary. We're going to get reunited with people, and then we're going to engage them to continue work here in New York. And one of the big things happening in New York is this massive election for mayor.
Yes.
Big election. Huge election. The eyes of the country are on you guys. How does that feel?
I mean, it's exciting because a lot of people have, for Zoran, they're really pumped. Mr. Mamdani himself, find out he was a former rapper, so we have that in common.
That's right.
That's good to hear. But no, I mean, seriously, he is super...
I just got that. We have that in common. No, that's a deep cut, man.
The deep cut.
Google Ahmed Baba rapper.
The
Do
rapper
it right now.
They've been wiped from the internet. You'll never find them.
It's on the deep web.
It's on the dark web now.
Find it and you get a free t-shirt.
One of my friends has been collecting them, so if I ever run for office, he can just have compromising material on me and just drop it.
Nice.
But this is a total sideshow. Point is, Zoran Mamdani is great.
He's
great.
Well,
I mean, he's controversial to some.
He is.
I think his policies are pretty progressive. There's questions of whether or not how much you can pay for the free buses.
He's run a record campaign.
Yes, his campaign.
So the amount of money that he's raised, the amount of volunteers that have come out, the fact that he's a socialist who's gone this far in a campaign, and the like next generation of voters and volunteers that he's gathered around him, regardless of his policies. Yeah. Nobody expected him to be this popular. It
just shows the grassroots, the grassroots movements behind him. Obviously, some of the comments he's making around Israel, like the globalize the Anfatata thing, the way he responded to that. Some people are upset with it, but he explained himself, and he doesn't give me any anti-Semitic energy. So I think he's starting to, he gave a real emotional press conference explaining that. But I think what his support...
Because he's Muslim.
He's Muslim.
So he gets these like death threats and stuff.
Exactly.
That's what he's talking about at the press conference. We had to like take a moment because he's like brought to tears by the fact that people are threatening him and his family. But I believe him. You know, he said I have Jewish friends. I want the best for New Yorkers, regardless of who they are, Jewish community included. That aside, though, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about his policies. It's really him as a candidate, what he's done, what it means for the next generation. Yeah. What is it like being on the ground here and having to contend with what is the old guard versus the new guard? Because Cuomo is the quintessential like Democratic machine guy.
And he's got a lot of the older head support. He's got older black voter support.
He does, that's
which
right.
Which is interesting. Because, establishment Democrat, he's done a lot, and a lot of people remember him from the pandemic days and don't, some of them, even though he had obviously sexual harassment claims.
He did.
And those issues.
But he was so strong during the pandemic that actually, like, that's the thing they remember more.
That's what they remember.
I remember that.
They remember what he did. And some people think, Trump's gotten away with all this stuff. Why do we do this to our own? Although I personally don't think Cuomo, I personally, don't think Cuomo is the best option. But obviously there's Brad Lander.
It shouldn't be like our guys. Not nearly as bad as their guy.
There's been some interesting things. Brad Lander and Zoran that they cross-endorsed.
Which is crazy.
Which is interesting because we have ranked choice voting here in New York.
Which is another thing that people are interested in because other places don't have it and other large cities don't. Not like this. So Zoran is teaching people about ranked choice voting.
Exactly.
And on his social media stories, he's talking about the process of it. He's educating New Yorkers. But the rest of the country, because he's gone so viral, are seeing this and learning about ranked choice as well.
Exactly. And the cross endorsement made it even more interesting because him and Brad Lander are like, well, if I'm your first choice, rank Zoran second. Yeah. If I'm your second choice, rank. And so they're trying to block out Cuomo. Yeah. And Brad Lander, who just rose even more because he was arrested unjustifiably, or at least handcuffed and detained effectively at that immigration center, right? And basically he had a Padilla happen to him, a Padilla-like incident. So there's a lot of excitement, and it's just it's been cool because the thing is, I actually found out about Zoran from an organizer first before I even knew who he was.
Oh, him from another organizer?
From his volunteers.
Oh, really?
Months ago. I got encountered, before this was even, I got encountered by an organizer. And I was like,
when he was a super underground.
Well, yeah, when he was underground, I'm like, I do this work, I'm like but I'm working focused on the national stuff. And then in organized, they were at farmers markets. They were just out on the streets informing voters about it. Cool. So they built a lot of grassroots support. There's Mamdani signs in my neighborhood. It's just... It's fascinating. He's close. There's some polls that have him between 1 and 2 points away from Cuomo.
And depending on the poll, he'll take the lead by a point or half a point. So
we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the thing about him, and this is interesting because if you're on social media, but and if you're not, then you haven't seen it. But he has his ads are catchy. Yeah. He's charismatic. He has he's funny. Okay, he brought these jokes into his stuff. He does ads about the price of falafel or halal plates. Yeah. Chicken over rice, and he wants to decrease the just regular city people stuff. I can relate to this. And then he also has done different languages. Yes. He did an ad in Farsi. He did one in Spanish. He did one in Hindi. Yeah.
He's doing multilingual ads. He's talking to different people.
And it's not just throw it in ChatGPT and read it. He throws in little catchphrases. He's doing song and dance stuff. Oh, yeah. He talks. It's colloquial versions of those languages and not just the King's version.
It's really been exciting because it's regardless of whether he wins or not. Right. I just think he has shown how to run a campaign and be really exciting. The socialist label, I always think that's not the smartest. Right. It's as far as, but the fact he's gotten so far with it just indicates how, I feel he'd get even further if he didn't have the label. Yeah. But the fact that he's gotten as far as he did with the label just shows people want to change. People just want disruption. I have some friends who I'm just like, some people weren't paying that much attention. I'm like, who are you going to rank? And they're like, I want to rank Zoran because I just want to shake up the system.
Really?
And they say shake up the system. It's like, that's the logic people voted for Trump.
That's the Trump thing. Everyone is just looking to
disrupt.
People
just want disruption, Also, I'm new to New York, right? I'm 3 years in.
Okay.
And I just was like, my first question was, why does New York keep electing psycho mayors? Why is every mayor weird as hell? Why is de Blasio?
Yeah.
Eric Adams?
And de Blasio was seen as like super weird. But now,
Eric Adams, like the creepy, it's just like, and so Zoran's like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Who's cool and chill and young. And it's just like, we're going to go back to Cuomo?
Yeah.
And it's just like, people want to break the cycle. So it's literally this Tuesday. We're going to see. I feel like he's got a good shot. I mean, I think a lot of people are trying to twist a lot of his words around Israel to make it appear as if he's more anti-Semitic.
And I don't think there's any issue that is more fraught with holes to fall in politically. There's like no good way to answer a question on what's going on with Israel. It's just and so he's a Muslim, so he's got all these knocks. He's a Muslim and he's a socialist and he's
a Muslim socialist with the name Zohran Mamdani.
Dude,
that might
this is like Obama.
It's like Obama. It'd be like New York's Obama for Muslim people. The Muslim Obama.
It's like all these things that like you're like, no way. 5 years ago you'd been like, that's not.
Barack Hussein Obama after 9/11.
Yeah, black guy. Yeah, after 9/11.
Yeah, and right now in the middle of the pro-Palestine movement, like a Muslim that's advocating for Palestinians.
So
we'll see.
It's perfect. So it's this is perfect.
Maybe it'll work out. We're gonna see, man. But like it's been an interesting campaign. So that's
so on a national level, I mean, what this represents is kind of a break between the old guard and the new guard. You see it happening everywhere. We just got back we were in New Jersey knocking on doors. We just helped to push through an election in Virginia.
That primary went well by a few hundred votes, right?
It was like 3,600 vote margin, and we knocked on 5,000 doors. You know what I'm saying? We're doing the thing, man. We're doing it. But this is she'd be the first Muslim to be on the ballot for a state seat in the state of Virginia.
It's unbelievable. And Virginia, this is where I'm from, for those who don't know.
That's right.
Where I grew up.
Yeah.
Spanberger, I remember when she first was elected, and I interviewed Northam, the governor, before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was my first big interview. I was 23. I was 23.
Get out of here. What did you ask
2017, I interviewed. I was so nervous. Man.
What did a 23-year-old?
I was asking about Charlottesville. It was fresh off Charlottesville. I was asking him about that, and, obviously we learned, Northam wore blackface later on. It was pretty heartbreaking. But he did good stuff for people in Virginia. But the point is, I was like deeply involved in Virginia politics, so it was just cool to see. Yeah. I was out there, and they invited me to the inauguration. I was at the inauguration,
cool.
And I saw him and Lieutenant Governor.
For the governor, okay.
Yeah, for the governor. So basically, it's right now, Abigail Spanberger is about to be could be the first woman, and obviously her opponent, the Republican, would also be the first woman.
And she'd be the first black woman.
First black woman, yeah.
Crazy Republican, but a black woman. Wow.
She's the worst, though.
Oh, yeah, she's a MAGA.
She was in Selma when we were in Selma.
She was
speaking with
your best friend.
Our guy, Byron Donalds.
My
arch nemesis, Byron Donalds. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know I'm the nemesis yet. But
he doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know you by name, but in his soul, he can feel you, man. He can feel it.
I can't believe, so this is way off topic, but just like Reverend Al Sharpton letting me, like literally alley-ooping me, letting me just talk about that.
Yeah, he said, well, here's a tweet that you said about Byron Donalds. Let's talk about it.
Now go off. And then I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's this Virginia race is going to be interesting because just like in 2017, where it was indicative of what would happen in 2018, this 2025 race will give us a lot of insight into how 2026 is going to go in the midterms. Mm-hmm. And I think Abigail Spanberger is gonna crush it.
I think so. We are overperforming everywhere. We've been overperforming on almost every single election since 2024, since November. People are waking up, and it's not just Democrats that are turning out. It's people who voted for Trump, voted for MAGA people locally, and have seen what happens when you do that. Yeah. Okay. So just quick hits on what's going on in the country or internationally. Iran is a big deal, huge deal.
Yeah.
You just shout out to Don Lemon. You just did a Don Lemon thing on Substack.
I just did
subscribe to Substack so you can catch these live things that pop up and you can get in the chat and talk to them.
AhmedBaba.news. Check it out. Subscribe if you can. Some of you become paid subscribers from Compower. Seen y'all. Appreciate it. It's a big help. But yeah, Don Lemon, we do this weekly thing now. We were talking about Iran and the MAGA rift between basically where we stand right now currently is Trump just said we're going to do 2 weeks pause or 2 weeks. He'll decide whether to get involved.
His favorite length of time.
Yeah, favorite length. Always in 2 weeks. I'll let you guys know. 2 weeks we'll solve this. But basically, in the meantime, we saw Tucker Carlson get into a really contentious interview. Crazy interview with Ted Cruz where he was just dismissed.
You know, my first thought was, it was like, is this AI? That was my first thought.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you saw the Republicans talking about it, and they're like, guys, don't. It was like the Kanye with Elon thing. Like, guys, don't fight. We love you guys.
No, because it's unbelievable. Because it was just like, he just on the Tucker angle itself, like, Tucker's a smart guy. He's not been on the good side of things, other than this, but he's a smart guy. And Ted did not expect.
He didn't
to have Tucker at his like bet. Like this was like old. This is why Tucker rose in journalism. Basically, was this kind of thing that he just did. This is why he was on Crossfire and CNN.
He'd do it to anybody.
Yeah, and he just dismantled this man and was like, how many people live in Iran?
Yeah.
What's the population of Iran? Where's that Bible? You're saying that you cite this Bible verse that justifies your support from Israel. Where's that verse? And just like showing that all of it is just, the bluster is just on top of a mountain of ignorance.
So this is interesting because we'll see what happens with that whole conflict. Who knows? The point though about the growing rift on the right is something we've been talking about for weeks, right? We talked about it happening with like Nick Fuentes and Musk. Other right-wing influencers. We talked about Musk. We called it that Musk would drop off eventually, and now you see people like Tucker come in, and it's over the attack on Iran. This is like, we are not just confident about a shift in this country or winning future elections because we think that we on the left are getting our act together. We think that the policies of Trump have always been broken and that now it's just showing in evidence. And the very slimly connected, tentatively connected coalition on the right, it was destined to break apart.
Exactly.
And you see Tucker is so smart, actually. He's made a calculation that this is the thing to break apart on.
Yep.
I think he realizes that they've been too closely connected to Trump and that they would like to actually break away.
Yes, and that's what we've been seeing over the course of months and weeks, right? Like, there's been the Bannon wing for a while that's been like speaking out against Musk and kind of the technocrats. There's those fractures.
Punched him in the face.
Maybe. No, I think that might have been Scott Bessent.
Bessent did, you're right.
I think they got in a physical fight. Washington Post cited Bannon.
But speaking of Bessent, another rift based on the tariffs.
Right, the tariffs. There's the deficit hawks versus the populists. There's the technocrats versus the MAGA bros. There's this new isolationist versus interventionist.
Yes.
Where you have John Bolton. You have a former Iran, people who got us into the Iraq war now saying let's do this Iran thing, and then you have Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, who I like to bring up Candace Owens because I've been watching her and I've been noticing a broader pivot with her since Trump won.
On multiple topics.
She started pivoting on cultural topics. Free speech. Campus protests. Now this, because Candace has also always been smart. In 2016, she used to be a resistor, by the way. She had an anti-Trump blog. And because she's just, someone who's, I think, a grifter and just cares about her own self-interest, saw the winds were heading towards MAGA. And then moved to MAGA. The fact that right now she's moving a little away from MAGA tells you that she senses the winds are moved against Trump.
So this is an interesting piece because I think Elon, when he said we need a third party, I think he sent the flag up. And he was like, guys,
this is getting crazy.
But also like, let's talk about a different option.
And
that's when you see people like Tucker, Candace, other people going, you know what, I'm going to hedge. Maybe this Trump thing isn't forever. Maybe we hit the peak and now it's starting to decline, and I want in on whatever that next thing is.
Yes.
This third party thing that feels more libertarian, it feels more independent, like traditionally libertarian and independent. It feels more like the middle, like we can grab some of the people from the left, actually. We can pull some of those folks in. I think that there's a growing center right here that is actually going to follow the stuff that Trump ran on that he actually didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, I mean, they just are aware. Again, if Trump was doing well, then it's all about the political success and the calculations. If Trump was doing well right now, this isn't a moral stance. This is a political viability stance. They think Trump has been failing. They know he's been failing. The tariffs have been stupid. Everything has been dumb.
Yeah.
So now what they're doing is they're hedging. They're making a calculation. Okay, the tariffs might combust the economy.
Yeah.
This bill that he's trying to pass is terrible.
Yeah.
It's polls terribly. They recognize, and now the Iran situation. They also, another thing that was just interesting, another angle to this.
Immigration is destroying their businesses, farmers and all that. Yep.
They're actually trying to influence Trump out of it. So it's not just they're trying to say, look, we're showing to you we can turn on you, because what we're seeing is legacy right-wing media, Fox News, has been pushing him towards war.
Yeah.
I watch way too much of all of this stuff, so I'm seeing it's not good for my mental health. But I know what's going on, so I see on Fox News the Murdochs are pushing him towards war. Tucker even explicitly told Bannon and said that the Murdochs, since I've known them, they want to push America into foreign entanglements. Meanwhile, new MAGA media, Bannon, Tucker, Candace, are trying to influence Trump. So literally,
because they're all getting on their different channels because they know the way that you influence him is that he watches
through
TV.
Media. And then Yahoo is using Fox News as propaganda on. They're feeding them they're leaking to Fox News all the time, feeding Fox News all this information, saying, "Oh, look how great that's what swayed Trump." Is that Fox News? I was watching that thing. They were doing 24/7 coverage of how brilliant Israel's operation was. So Trump was thinking, I want in on that. That's a successful operation. Maybe I help him, right? And then meanwhile, Bannon and Tucker them caught wind and were like, oh, Trump might actually do this.
Yeah.
And then they're like, now they're flexing their muscle.
Got it.
And so it's new MAGA media versus old MAGA media. And it's fascinating to watch. Right now, it seems new MAGA media may have got a one up because they've delayed Trump's decision.
So, and this is so interesting because I don't know if politics at the presidential level has ever been this transparent. Yeah. And this is, it's unfortunate that this is the way it's going and that he's that malleable. Yeah. And also, it has to be said that we are seeing more of the back end decision making than we've ever seen, and people on the internet have more influence on this than they ever have. How they answer polls, how they comment on his posts, how they how folks on podcasts have conversations. Fucking Theo Vaughn. These people who are like Joe Rogan, all these people they actually can influence decisions that are happening at the federal and international level. It shouldn't be them, but it's also this is a new era that we're in where it's not backroom deals. It's actually right here in front of us.
It's like newscasters and influencers are in Trump's cabinet. Yeah. It's a totally different scenario. He has these sycophants around him that he doesn't trust. Hegseth, there's reporting he's not leaning on Hegseth for advice
Hegseth is not.
Hegseth's not influential. Tulsi Gabbard, he said, I don't care what Tulsi says about Israel's, or Iran's enrichment schedule and whatnot.
Because she keeps saying,
she's saying they're not building a nuclear weapon right now because they aren't.
And she's another one moving.
And again, now she's on the outs. Yeah. And Hegseth is just a fool, so Trump doesn't trust him. But Trump does trust. He's always trusted Fox News. He trusts Tucker. He thinks Tucker's very smart. He likes Tucker. He's even said he likes Tucker, and that they spoke after the Ted Cruz interview. So basically, So what we're seeing, whereas Obama would be in the Situation Room, and all the conversation is happening in that room and in that room alone. I don't know if he's going home to Michelle to get advice. He's probably more.
No,
probably not. He's not.
And she wouldn't.
And so it's not going. They're having that insulated conversation. We're all nationally having that conversation and nationally influencing Donald. Wow. And it's a fascinating time. And it also shows you, guess what? Homeboy's not a dictator. dictators don't get influenced by people making videos on the internet. They don't care.
I'd say, yeah, he's not going to be a dictator because he's not smart enough and sharp enough for strategic.
He's blowing with the winds. This man was almost right about to bomb Iran and then changed his mind because Tucker embarrassed Ted Cruz. Like, that's what's happening right now.
Amazing.
So that's where we're at.
Okay, well, so the plan is for Ahmed to get big enough to influence Donald Trump. That's the plan.
I don't think he'll listen to me.
This is our plan. This has been the plan all along, guys. This is the plan all along.
No,
Ahmed's entire career is to influence Donald Trump in his second term.
If I interview him, or behind the scenes, I would just compliment him. She's like, you know what? You actually know your shit, Donald. You know what you're doing, Donald. You know what? You know what would be really cool, make you look even more badass, is if you were such a badass. You brought back USAID. Everyone would love you, man.
That's good, man. That's really good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I like
that's what I would do.
All right, we're getting into the alternate reality part of this podcast. It's time to close up. I'll see you tonight. We got our show tonight, so I'm all calm and powered up. I got the logo and the logo. Wole, what do you think, man? This is good. I'm gonna.
He's merched out.
I'm selling. I'm merched out. It'll be 6 p.m. tonight. We're doing it. In New York. We're gonna see a bunch of our volunteers, and if you don't, you're gonna see it soon. You can't see it right now, but you will see it soon. We're gonna post it as soon as we can. But for right now, if you're in New York, join us. Otherwise, we'll see you. Actually, you're going on honeymoon.
I'm going on a honeymoon next Thursday.
Okay.
So we might do another pod in before then, hopefully, fit something else in.
But if not, say goodbye to Ahmed.
I love you guys. I will be in Italy for 3 weeks, 2.5 or so. And I'm going to be trying to disconnect as best I can. So you probably won't hear from me because I'm going to try to restore my soul out there.
But you've been watching Fox News now.
I've been watching Bannon's podcast, guys.
I'll tell you what. When you get detained, trying to get back in, just hit me up and we'll do a quick pod.
I'll do a pod from the ICE headquarters.
Yeah, that's right. Next episode, Ahmed from ICE.
No,
detention.
Please, let's not manifest that. No ICE detention. Honestly, go ahead, try it. I hope they do because now come back. I will just hit up every news org and just get booked everywhere and just be like, look.
That's right. Yeah,
they came and they asked me if I like
your
Trump.
local elected official to detain this guy. This is going to work on our favor, guys. This is how this is how it works.
All right.
I
hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see. Take care, everybody.
See ya.